Top of the morning. Hopefully everybody is doing well. It is what, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday the 5th of March. Hopefully everybody is doing well. Shout out to everybody who came through the live that we had the other day. We played a little bit more of Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil. I thought that was pretty awesome. People came through, showed some support. Can't thank you guys enough. You guys are absolutely awesome. I do plan on going live again, maybe tonight. I'll let you guys know. I try to go live every other day, as long as I'm not as busy as I normally am. Trying to cut down on time and being efficient with that. So hopefully you guys will, continue to support, share these videos, subscribe to the channel, all that other good stuff. But let's get into what I wanted to talk about today. PlayStation 3, believe it or not, the PlayStation 3 has gotten another update, and it's pretty simple why they're getting an update. The console came out in 2006. It's been a long time, almost 20 years. I think it was 2006, 2005, around when the PlayStation 3 was released, and they're still getting updates. And this is one of the most, to be honest, one of the most jailbroken consoles has ever been put out there. It's no secret that it's pretty much wide open, that you can download files and jailbreak your PlayStation 3. But that doesn't stop Sony from making adjustments and updates from that happening. Basically, what is going on is PlayStation, Sony are continuously giving updates. I think this is update 4.92. And what they're doing is giving updates to the Blu-ray player. Now, the Blu-ray player, I guess it's some type of gateway to continue functionality, and also give the actual Blu-ray not a gateway to not be jailbroken. I don't know for certain. I had a jailbroken PS3 back in the day. I just don't know how to do it. I mean, I'm pretty sure some people know how to get around that or whatever, but Sony is still updating the PlayStation 3 for security reasons. Now, I also think this is another reason why the PlayStation 3 whatever's left of the ecosystem may not die anytime soon. People are still talking about the PlayStation 3 store being shut down, or whatever the case may be. I think that is coming at some point. So if you want to get some games on that store, which is basically holding on by a thread, you still have a chance to do so. There are some great games that are over there that, for the most part, will stay on your hard drive and will still play even if it's offline. So don't fret about downloading and having to stay on the internet. No, I think these games will still work long as your user sign-in is attached to the actual console. It will still play offline, unless you have a CMOS battery situation, which is a whole different issue, which I don't want to get into. But I think it's it's probably like one of the only places I would say go in and buy games that you probably will continuously own, even after the market actually goes away. It's not one of those situations. So I think that they're still trying to hold that up for the time being and trying to keep security measures, even though I feel like the PlayStation 3 itself is pretty much done and over with when it comes to not just the console's life, but just the security measures behind it. I mean, I guess they're doing what they can, and it's not that big of a patch either. I think when I downloaded, it was like 200 megabytes or 300. It was basically a security measure for the Blu-ray disc player. So for all intents and purposes, they are doing some type of security measures to continue functionality with the PlayStation 3. I think they also realize that a lot of people still have their PlayStation 3s. I think right now it is like over I think it's like 1 million or 2 million users are still using their PS3. I think it's still a phenomenal device to play games on, but I do understand that we're going to be like 3 generations past the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 6 will be coming at some point, and how long are they going to continue to support the PlayStation 3? I think that's pretty wild that they're doing it. But I kind of understand why. Like I said, the Blu-ray, functionality and the security behind that. I think that's one of the main reasons why, at the end of the day, that they're going to continue to do so. As for me, I'm gonna still play my PlayStation 3. I think Gran Turismo 6 is still a phenomenal game, a game that's on the PlayStation Store, and I think it's still available. I highly recommend you go pick it up. Is Tekken 5, the I think it's called Dark Resurrection. I want to think it is. Phenomenal, phenomenal version of Tekken 5. Even though I still think the PlayStation 2 version is more feature rich, but the PlayStation 3 version is a beautiful, beautiful game. Especially if you want to change a pace from Tekken 8 or whatever the case may be. I think the Tekken 5 for PS3 is really good. There's a lot of other games that are on there, not to mention a lot of PlayStation 1 classics that are on there, some PS2 classics that are still there that are very, very, very cheap. And not to mention, if you have a Japanese account, you can still jump over to the Japanese account and get some games that are really expensive on the secondhand market. You can get those for anywhere between 5 and 10 yen or something like that. I think it's somewhere around there. Very, very, very cheap games on the PlayStation 3 store. But going through the PlayStation 3 store does, take some type of patience, I will say the least, to get around. But I think it's worth it at the end of the day. Like I said, I worked out, a way to get all of my games from, both sides, where it's be the American and Japanese version of, the store. And like I said, you still use those games once they're offline. So I think it's really good to keep that. But I just find it interesting that this may be around for a little bit longer because they're still giving updates to the PlayStation 3, and it's, basically 2.5, almost 3 generations out, and it's still getting support. It just goes to show you at the end of the day that the PlayStation 3 is in my opinion, is a prominent console, and is probably one of the better consoles that was ever released, especially if you have the fat model that still, if it still works. The fat model is, man, that thing, like the one I had just stopped working. But if you can get the fat model that plays PS1 and PS2 games, and it's still functional to the point where you can still play these games on it today with the current update to the console 4.92, you have a hell of a console right there. Natively playing PS1 and 2 and 3 games. It's to be honest with you guys, as far as everything that it does, it's probably one of the best consoles ever created. That fat model, even though that it's not as functional, that probably get some knocks off of it, that is not as functional. But if you have that, and you're able to still play games on it, and with the state of PlayStation 3, you're probably going to be playing some pretty solid games for the foreseeable future, and I don't think it's going to slow down. I will be surprised, and actually I won't be surprised, but I can see that it still be going on for the next few years. It is going to come a time where the PlayStation 3 store is going to go away. It's pretty much, bare bones and hanging on by a thread now. But the fact that they're still giving updates to the PlayStation 3, it shows me that they still have some vested interest of keeping it around, probably because of the PlayStation Now side of things as well. That's probably a thing that why it's still around, because you still can get PlayStation 3 games, and the ecosystem is kind of tied into the trophy system, and people still do play games on PlayStation Now, believe it or not. But it is what it is. I'm going to be around playing the games natively on my PS3. I would love to get another fat PS3 that play PS2 games. I saw one on Facebook Marketplace, but I don't know if I'm going to get that one. I don't trust those fat pop models anymore, even though I think they're absolutely, phenomenal. I'll just play my PS2 games on a PS2. So, but nevertheless, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. PS3 still getting updates. What do y'all think about that? I think it's kind of, interesting that they're doing that. I think that's pretty cool. But I think it also shows that the PlayStation Store is still going to be around for a while, even though it's very, very bare bones. I mean, you got to be very patient to get around that store to buy things at this point. And you have to go through the PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation 4 store to add funds to the PlayStation 3 to actually buy things. It's a mess. You this is right now, if you're going over there, it's for people who are enthusiasts of the PlayStation 3, love the PlayStation 3, and want to do all of these things for your PlayStation 3. Like I am. I'm one of those guys that's like that. I love the console, and I stand by it until they decide to not do anything else with the store, but I'll still be on it. But it's interesting how they're still supporting it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I can ramble all day about this. And I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all take it easy. I'm out. Peace.